This is an overview of the California English Learner Roadmap. The objective of this module is to assist the viewer in becoming familiar with the roadmap. This module will also review the guidelines and requirements involved in meeting the needs of our English learners. California's English learners represent over 38% of the state's 6.2 million transitional kindergarten through 12th grade students. In 2020, that translates to 1,148,024 English learners in our California public school system. 2,555,951 California public school students speak a language other than English in their own home. And 68.6% of those English learners are in kindergarten through 6th grade. In response to these growing numbers of English learners, the California English Learner Roadmap was born. In order to fully understand the need for the roadmap policy, let's quickly review the history of our English learners in California. In 1974, a Supreme Court ruling, Lau versus Nichols, ruled that English learners were entitled access to an EL program that was targeted to their specific needs. California was one of the first states to enact the Chacon-Moscone Assembly Bill in 1976, affirming these rights. This bill required all California EL students to have access not only to an ELD program, but also to the regular curriculum. The debate over bilingual education came next. Well-implemented bilingual programs were working, but some people argued that they delayed a student's assimilation into American culture. This belief led to the rise of Proposition 227, which offered EL students access to targeted programs, but only for a year, despite the fact that research was showing effective bilingual instruction takes anywhere from 4 to 7 years. The late 80s brought standards-based reform to the education system in the hopes of increasing achievement for all students. Standards continue to drive our classrooms today. In 1994, the Improving America's Schools Act was founded, and in 2001, No Child Left Behind began. In response, California was the first state to develop ELD standards and implement an annual ELD assessment. Most recently, California has adopted the Common Core State Standards and the Next Generation Science Standards, and developed the ELD framework that guides our instruction today. In 2016, Proposition 58 was approved by 73.5% of California voters. This proposition provides districts with more flexibility in their implementation of EL support in hopes of improving English learner success in our public schools. The California English Learner Roadmap was developed to provide guidance to districts, schools, counties, and teachers as we roll out effective research-based EL programs for our students. The roadmap draws upon many years of research and development to provide guidance as RUSD constructs effective strategies to reach our English learners. The roadmap aligns with the ideas in the California ELA/ELD framework, which was adopted in 2014, and states that educators are responsible for ensuring that all ELs have full access to intellectually rich and comprehensive curriculum via appropriately designed instruction, and that they make steady and even accelerated progress in their English language development. The roadmap also aligns with the RUSD goals that are outlined in the Guide for Instructional Direction. Both documents are inclusive of all students and expect all students to be college, career, and world ready with the support of their communities as they reach their goals. The roadmap was unanimously approved in 2017 by the California State Board of Education to provide a common goal for all English learners, with the vision that English learners fully and meaningfully access and participate in a 21st century education from early childhood through grade 12 that results in their attaining high levels of English proficiency, mastery of grade level standards, and opportunities to develop proficiency in multiple languages. Our EL students will reach that vision if we adopt the mission of the roadmap, which states, California schools affirm, welcome, and respond to a diverse range of English learners' strengths, needs, and identities. California schools prepare graduates with the linguistic, academic, and social skills and competencies they require for college, career, and civic participation in a global, diverse, and multilingual world, thus ensuring a thriving future for California. The roadmap gives a clear definition of English language proficiency. It not only states that it takes 4 to 7 years to learn English proficiently, but also that proficiency in English benefits from coherent and aligned instruction. And it can and should also happen simultaneously with academic content. Effective educational systems are also outlined in the roadmap, and they have certain characteristics in common. They recognize all EL students as capable of learning what all children can learn. There is no need to wait until they master English. They provide support for all stakeholders, especially in light of such diverse needs in the classroom. They encourage teachers to work together to support instruction. They promote communication and encourage self-expression in language-rich environments. And they utilize data-driven instruction. The foundation of the roadmap are the four interrelated principles. These principles are intended to guide all levels of the educational system toward coherence and alignment in practices, services, relationships, and approaches to serving and learning. When utilized together, these 4 principles will create a powerful and effective 21st century education for California and RUSD English learners. Principle 1 states that EL students need assets-oriented and needs-responsive schools. These schools value the cultures and native languages of our EL students. They recognize that EL students have varying learning needs, they keep campuses safe, and value community and family partnerships. These schools also develop a collaborative framework for ELs with disabilities. The intellectual quality of instruction and meaningful access is principle number 2 of the roadmap. This principle states that language development should be integrated across the curriculum. It should be rigorous and standards-based with high expectations. These expectations should be clearly outlined. This principle discusses how EL students should have access to the full curriculum and that they are encouraged to become bilingual, while being provided the choices we provide all students when it comes to their education. System conditions that support effectiveness is principle number 3. This is the idea that systems work together to focus on goals and continuous improvement while providing adequate resources to students, teachers, and schools. Assessments provided are valid and reliable in order to measure effectiveness, and all levels work with student success as the guiding factor. Principle 4 is alignment and articulation within and across systems. This principle suggests that alignment needs to happen across grade levels and systems in order to ensure student success. While providing additional support for ELs by developing partnerships across systems, This alignment should occur across the entire state to support students. It is important to note that each of the 4 interrelated principles in the roadmap have elements that we will expand on in future presentations. After an in-depth explanation of each principle, the roadmap dives into providing a few examples of school systems that have been successful in focusing on the roadmap and the principles as a guide. One public school example is the Garden Grove Unified School District that focused on principles 2 and 3 to increase student-to-student collaborative conversations in math. Their success has led to both students and teachers learning and a successful Summer Math Institute. A second example is the Fresno Unified School District. They focused on Principle 3 to create an equity and access partnership with UC Merced. Together, they increased the number of their EL students applying to college by creating packets of information to inform them of their choices when choosing schools. The information outlined in the California English Learner Roadmap can be summarized using this visual created by an RUSD teacher, Norma Rodriguez. Listen as she explains the connections between the principles and English learner success.
On July 12, 2017, the California State Board of Education unanimously approved a new policy for English learners, the EL Roadmap. This roadmap consists of 4 principles. Principle 1, assets-oriented and needs-responsive schools. Principle 2, intellectual quality of instruction and meaningful access. Principle 3, system conditions that support effectiveness. Principle 4, alignment and articulation within and across systems. These 4 principles support our vision and mission. Also, they have a shared responsibility of all educators and that all levels of the schooling system have a role to play in ensuring the access and achievement of the 1.3 million English learners who attend our schools. As you can see this visual, you see an English learner driving this car. The 4 wheels are the principles that help move the car along the road. As the English learner moves through the levels, you can see level 1 is where newcomers are included. As students learn more English, they will go to level 2, 3, and 4. Level 4 is the first criteria needed in order to reclassify. Teachers will teach integrated and designated ELD in order for students to attain those high levels of proficiency. The vision is that English learners fully and meaningfully access and participate in a 21st century education from early childhood through grade 12 that results in their attaining high levels of English proficiency, mastery of grade level standards, and opportunities to develop proficiency in multiple languages. So the mission for our schools is to affirm, welcome, and respond to a diverse range of English learners' strengths, needs, and identities. Our schools prepare graduates with the linguistic, academic, and social skills and competencies they require for college, career, and civic participation in a global, diverse, and multilingual world, thus ensuring a thriving future for California.
This visual will help you remember that it is important to understand the roadmap and the 4 principles in order to provide our EL students with what they need to reach their EL destinations.